Welcome back to our final segment, and thank you so much for staying with us till this far with Council Lufunya Derrick. We are discussing narcotics and illicit drug use in Uganda. Remember to follow us on social media. That is at Smart24 TV now, and that is on our Twitter. On our YouTube, we are Smart24 TV live, and you can always get back to all these shows and have a look, and of course comment and give us that very vital feedback. Now, Councillor Lufunya, the situation seems to be dire here, and a lot seems to be at stake. But in terms of the legal action, what do you think the direction could be? You've given us a few of the options, but some of them seem to be really hard. For example, the Constitutional Court has already ruled. So I don't know the next higher court, if this could be going to them and they could look into it and see if they can actually reverse the nullification, or we need to have a retabling of the whole act, or even change a few things in the act to make it better and more suitable for the situation.
The Attorney General of Uganda is an ex-official in the Parliament of Uganda and the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the government of Uganda, and advises. His advice is solid. I would believe by this moment he has prepared a brief to the Chief Executive of the country on the dire effects of the decision of the Constitutional Court. Now, if the legal option is the best option and the quicker option, then an appeal would be appropriate in the circumstances to the Supreme Court to challenge the decision of the Constitutional Court on how the Narcotics and Psycho Something Act was declared unconstitutional. That is one angle. It's technical, but it could take time, and time is not what we have. By the time they take 2 weeks, 2 days, 1,000 kilograms of cocaine would be in the country being distributed to our young men in schools, to ministers, to police officers, to militants in the army, Uganda Wildlife Authority, and by the time we realize as a country, we'll have no one left but a mass of addicts who will not allow anyone to regulate the illegal drug or narcotics trade. Now, the other option, I've seen it work, and for me, this is my opinion. I have seen the application being done in Parliament against the anti-homosexuality law. The swiftness and the speed at which Parliament took in passing this law could be a quicker option if really members of Parliament are representatives of the people. And I'm sure members of Parliament out there, ministers, judges, also have children who have fallen victim of uncontrolled narcotics abuse. Most of their children, cousins, are either in rehab centers, starts out there wasting their lives. Now, it's equally important for those in government, and I'm sure, without fear of being contradicted, that the effects of narcotics abuse is in the homesteads, the backyard of people who are responsible for policy in this country. So it should be incumbent on them, most especially our members of Parliament. I appeal to them not to take these decisions as casual as possible. They are the bedrock, the foundation of our country. These are the voters you are going to go back to seek re-election for another term. And if you find them with neurological disorders, psychotic diseases, mental illnesses, they will not be able to make a proper decision. Actually, you are at loss because of the hallucinations. They may choose their very own addict to replace you in the next term of government, because they are not capable of knowing what they are doing at the material time. And that's a dangerous trajectory if you look at that. Those in policies. The others are enforcement issues. And these are issues to do with police, with DEOs, district education officers, to police the school through the ministry, to government and ministry, the ministries responsible for gender, not to sleep with the enemy.
Are you saying they should be stricter? Because when you look at these people who are usually addicted, one of the things that they fear is being judged. And you see, we have seen this in US and a couple of other, developed countries that have fought this. They say, no, you're judging, and when you judge them, they feel bad about it, and sometimes they never get out of the vice, or they try to hide it and find a better way of doing it without you knowing. What should really these enforcers of illicit drug use really be doing on ground?
Now you have to divide enforcement into two. There are the soft abusers of narcotics, and these are innocent or naive children in schools, women who have been addicted to opioids, addictive drugs like antibiotics, drugs that limit pain, patients, cancer that are going through chemotherapy, road accident victims. I mean, these are exceptional circumstances, but they are what we call cabals, drug lords, cartels, pimps. Pimps are people who prostitute, who collect vulnerable group of women and then sell them out on a profit. They trade in illicit sex and slavery. Now, the government should crack a whip. You see, the narcotics business is structured in a pyramid. There are those who are on top of the pyramid, and there are those who are at the bottom of the pyramid. There are those who are on top of the food chain, who are capable of eating those who are at the bottom of the food chain. The lion is the king of the jungle. It will feast on the gazelle, but the gazelle will feast on the grass down here. Now, if you're dealing with the apex of the pyramid, understand? The government should come in with all its force. The police, the army, this is what they call standby class 1. The president should declare standby class 1 against the war on drugs. Because you see, drugs, narcotics is not something casual. It is a war. It is global. Big powers like the US have fought it. They have not also been successful. So a growing economy like Uganda should not take these things lightly. So rehabilitation centers for our young people in schools, for our vulnerable women, presenting opportunities of employment to avoid issues of stress, issues of feeling you've failed, the country has failed you, issues of thinking that your own country has not done so much for you. You have to find greener pastures outside of the country. You see, even that aspect of migration, labor migration, is as a result of young people, an army of young people who are supposed to be beneficial, who are supposed to be engaging in the parish development model, in the arts industry, in the creatives, in agriculture, in sanitation, in innovation. All that brain drain is taken to the Arab world for one simple task: to be maids and nannies for the Arabs who are busy drilling oil and building business centers like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, hosting the World Cup. And they go as a result of being feeling that the country has not offered a lot. The alternative is drug abuse.
Yeah.
And when they're on the edge of the cliff, what they do is they take themselves straight into slavery. Now, we have to understand government must come up and create opportunities for its young people, because mostly the young people are affected by narcotics abuse. If the government does not do that and the solution is to export migrant labor, then the policy is lacking in terms of how it will benefit the country.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much, Council. In your final remarks, what would be your advice for the young people, especially in particular who are in society? They don't have much control. They are in the presence of all this, exposure. They're exposed to all these drugs each and every single day on the streets, in their schools. What would be your advice to them as we, of course, wind up?
Reassurance. The country, the chief executive needs to reassure the country. And the chief executive must come out clearly to give a message of hope to the young people, of creation of jobs, stability, of the aspect that you can make it in Uganda here without necessarily, of a message of reassurance that you cannot find solace in drugs.
No.
You need to be sober. You see, they always tell us follow your dreams. Understand? So because from dreaming, the dreamers in the US, you dream of a better life. Now, if you take drugs, you black out. You can't dream. Understand? You dead. You descend into Hades, hell. Depression is hell. Hallucination is hell. Addiction, even a mere hangover, even a mere limited supply of the substance you're taking. The drugs take control over you. They substitute the innovative young person, and fill that gap, make you non-productive. You become a loser in life. So we need reassurance. Now, not from ministers or police or permanent secretaries, from the head of state. That message should go clearly to the people. But then, this is counsel. The Bible says in Proverbs, I think 31, that there is a king in everyone. There is a queen in everyone. You understand? But narcotics and intoxicating substances are not meant for kings. They should only be supplied to those who are poor.
The slaves.
The slaves. So that they forget about their poverty. And those who are about to die, because they've already made a pact with the devil. You are going to hell and there is nothing you can reverse. But if you have the king in you, and this is a message of reassurance, counsel. If you have the king in you, if you believe in the asset that has been invested into a human being, the good health, the production, the warmness of a human being, the life that a human being produces on earth, then you should be careful not to allow your body to be contaminated with narcotics. You must be sober to be able to pursue your aspirations, and that is happiness and the hope of good life.
Wow.
That, in my concluding remarks, would be the biggest message to the young Ugandans out there, to not to limit their lives to a shot of opium or a stick of cannabis or a batch of cat. Because once you have this as part of your social life, then it will destroy the king in you and the queen in you, and eventually it will destroy the kingdom.
Well, Thank you so much, Council, for that, Council, you have actually just given right there, and the insights you have shared for us. Council Lufunya still works with High Court, right?
Yes, I'm an advocate of the High Court,
Yes.
but I work in private practice.
Private practice.
Yes.
Wow, thank you so much for sparing time and for those wonderful insights. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it from us today. We've, of course, discussed a wide range of issues concerning the repealing of the law, and we hope definitely our parliamentarians will be able to listen to this outcry and retable that law, or actually take the matter higher. And of course, the president at the helm of the executive should also come out, of course, very strongly on his standpoint on this particular case. So much thanks to you and the team, the production team, my producer, Eddie Khan, and several others on social media. Thank you so much for, of course, keeping it Smart 24 TV. More business coming up, and of course, stick around for that. I'll catch you later. Same time, same place. Bye for now.